Hello, my name is Lucy Graham, and I'm a tutor at the Lethbridge Library Read-On program. I generally teach math students, and I do it via Zoom. Once I'm in, I try to get the students to share their screen, and then I can watch them as they log in to their Learning Upgrade program. For the purpose of this video, I'm going to share my screen and I'll go into the Learning Upgrade. Are in the Learning Upgrade program, and the first thing that I do is go to Reports. When this screen comes up, it shows me the number of hours that my students have put in altogether. And you can see they've been pretty busy. If you scroll down, you can see that there are a number of reports. I spend most of my time looking at the student monitor report or the student time report. Let's go in and have a look at the student monitor report. This screen shows one of my students that started the program in August. At the time, I had been working with her on doing some things with a Math Smart 4 program, and she was struggling to be able to do any of the work on her own. But since joining the Learning Upgrade app, this student has managed to complete all of Math 4, as you can see on this, and has received her bronze certificate. Then she moved on and did Math 5, has gone all the way through Math 5, got the bronze certificate there. And now she's completed Math 6 and is working now on Math 7. This is a new student. He kind of jumped around a little bit at the beginning, but I find that most adult math students need to go back to the basics. And I like to insist that they start around Math 4. And so he started his Math 4, but you can see that he's missed a couple of lessons. This particular lesson in here has no score marked. And a couple of his lessons, he's scored in the 60s, this one a 50. And the program really insists that you get at least a 75 before they will let you move on to the next program. So when we have our next lesson, I'm going to make sure that he's gone back and completed this one that doesn't have a score at all, and then we will do some of these other ones. Now we'll take a look at the student time report. Start date is the 13th of and goes to the 20th. So it just shows you 1 week, but we can change that. And if we go up here in the box about the start date, click on that, let's see. Yeah, I'm going to start at the beginning of March. And if I click on that, changes the date, and then I can apply the filter. You can see that the last time this student was in was March the 19th. And she worked quite a bit. She started early in the morning, did a few, and then a little bit later in the day, added a few more. And you can see that she's on that date. She's been trying to work on the final challenge in Math 6. And she's been struggling with this, but she's getting better. You can see first thing in the morning was just a 32. And then later on that she tried again on the 17th. She was doing it not that great a day. And so she changed and got some scores, some lessons done back in Math 2. But she's really worked hard on this Math 60. If we can scroll down some more, we can see some final challenge. And way back here on March 13th, she got a 72 on this challenge. So she's almost there. She just has to keep trying and keep getting it. I really like being able to go in and see when was the last time they were in. And this gal has really been working hard. She was in on the 13th, 14th, and then the 18th and 19th. We can scroll even below. She worked on the 12th. She worked on quite a bit on the 12th and the 9th. So what I like about this is I can go in and check and see how quickly and how often they are trying on their own, not just waiting until she has a class with me. All right, so let's take a look at another student. This student had a class on March the 19th. And this class time, you can see we start at 5:30 and we go to 6:30. And so in this class, we managed to cover number 37, 38, 39, and 40. And then you notice the class, the previous class he had was on March the 12th. Again, from 5:30 to 6:30. And we did 3 lessons that night. If we scroll just down a little bit more, we'll see that the previous week, March 5th, March 12th, March 19th, once a week, we met. We worked that night from 6:30 to 7:30. And again, we were able to accomplish about 4 lessons in that time slot. And what you notice about this student is that he hasn't done anything on his own. He's only waited until our class time. That's not ideally what we want them to do. We want them to try to do some of the things on their own. To see how much effort they put in themselves and so on. And so if they've done some work in between classes, when they come to class, I can say, hey, you did a lot of work this week. Do you have any questions? And then we can go in and try those lessons that he's had some questions on. But if they don't do anything from one lesson to the next, then I assume they don't have any questions and we carry on to the next lesson. Okay, now I'm going to log into one of my students' pages so that I can show you what they would find on their screen. This student has completed Math 4, Math 5, Math 6, and is working in Math 7. I'll just take you into Math 4 for a moment. And you can see that they told her that if she wanted to get a silver medal, she got the bronze. If she goes back and raises all these lessons, like number 34 has bronze around it, If she changed, went back and did it again and was able to raise it up to silver or gold, then she would, if she got all of them at that level, she would be able to get a silver certificate. Same thing in number 5 and in number 6. She's currently in Math 7. Star, a pink star around number 30, because that's as far as she's gone. She's ready to do this particular lesson, but she's knows about the silver and gold, needing to get silver and gold. So she's, as we've worked our way through this lesson, she's gone back and practiced on her own to raise those scores up so that she has either a silver or gold. And when this one is finishes this whole lesson, she'll have to do the final challenge 60, and she has a chance to get, at this point, a silver level. So that's kind of neat. Let me show you another student. Here are the results for another student. I started the student in Math 6. And you can see there's a star around number 60. She is the gal that has been working hard trying to get a bronze certificate, and she'll keeps trying every day, as we saw before, but hasn't quite made it. I had her go back to Math 1 so that she could practice doing these lessons on her own and do a final challenge so that she could work on her speed for answering questions. As you can see, she has managed to get certificate here, and her certificate is a silver certificate because she went back and fixed all the ones that weren't over 90% so that she could get a silver certificate. And when she comes in here, you can see there's a star on number 50. So she's completed all the lessons up as far as 49. Her next one to do is lesson 50, and she's almost finished. And again, because her skills are up in Math 6, I had her do this whole thing all totally on her own. And that's really good because then it teaches them how to go back, try it again, keep determination is what a lot of our students need in order to be able to complete. And that's what one of the positives about this learning upgrade program. When she finishes 2, and if she's, even when she finishes 6, I'm going to have her do the 3, 4, and 5 levels because there are some topics in a number of these that they don't realize that they've forgotten. And so it doesn't hurt them, also makes them feel good. They can do it on their own. Yay, I've learned something. And so that's one of the positives about this program. Okay, let's go back to the teacher's screen. Sometimes when I've had a class, my students' computer was out of whack, or they couldn't get into their program, or they didn't know how to get around their computer screen. So what I do is I go to the teacher whiteboard. And here I can press start. And as a teacher, I have access to all the programs. So no matter what program my student is working on, I can go to that. So let's just click on Math 4. Is working in Math 4 and they're having trouble or they're ready to do a particular lesson, then we can just click on it. I can pick any lesson I want and open it up. And when I'm teaching that lesson, I'm sharing my screen with my student, and then I get them to select the right answer. And sometimes I let them get it wrong so they can see what they've done wrong and all that kind of thing. So it's kind of cool. Let me just show you a quick lesson. Let's do, yeah. One of the ones that they have most problems with is trying to do fractions, reducing them, that kind of thing, adding fractions with different denominators. That gives a number of them a problem. So let's click on that one. Fractions. I'm going to press skip because we know this lesson. And it will load into the next lesson. Okay. The problem. The denominators are different. So the first step is to find the least common denominator. Select the correct LCD. You notice I just clicked off the sound because sometimes that can get confusing and my student can't hear me talking. So then you can see here where the question mark is and they want you to find the LCD. Now, sometimes if it's the first time, you have to explain that to your student. So we talk about the LCD and then I get them to select. I'm going to give you a wrong answer this time, of course. And they'll say, nope. 210 is the least common denominator. So I found when my student would do this, they were not thinking about writing down the multiples to be able to get the LCD. So then, and so of course here we haven't changed the denominator. So the answer is 7/10. We would click that. That's it. Then they would have to figure out, okay, 1/2, how much is that over 10? 5/10. Go. And select the answer. Then they get them to do right on. Reduce the fraction if possible and select the answer in lowest terms. And so then the next step is reducing. Choose the least common denominator. That's it. I'm going to stop the video here, and I hope that you found this video helpful and gives you an idea of how I use Learning Upgrade in my classroom. And being able to teach this on Zoom works really, really well. Thank you. Have a great day, everyone. If you have any questions, just let me know. Bye.